What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back with another match preview. It's going to be a bite-sized one, and this one not going to be too long. It's a long season, 46 games. Not every preview can be a big 30-40 minute one, so we're going to do a little short one today. Also going to touch on Crysencio Summerville later on in the video as well, so stay tuned for the thoughts on all the reports surrounding him and his good form right now. Before we get into all that, though, you know the drill, people. Please hit a like on the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and of course, drop your comments and score predictions after the video's done. Thank you to Arinda, Parrot House, Carl Brown, Russ, and John Abbott for your super thanks on the last video. Big support on that one. Always good when the vibes are good when we win the games, and you guys come through with the super thanks. So thank you so much for those donations, and thank you to David, who's become a member of the channel as well recently. So, and if you want to become a member, helps me out, helps the channel out. That is in the description below. So thank you very much for the support. And on the press conference today, there wasn't too much. We got no fresh injury worries, which is good. So we go in, you know, as strong as ever, really, and we still await people like Jed Spence and Firpo and Dallas to come back. So we're in good shape. So Farker did touch on Pascal's form and about how they've worked hard on cutting mistakes out from his game. He did say he's adapted well to his demands, and he's played a crucial part. We don't have to talk about his skills with the ball. I'm very pleased with his development, and that is something that I've said before about Pascal, in that his ball playing abilities have come back. I still think he's missing a bit of the dog in him that I need to see from centre backs, but in this division, and his confidence going back up, he's been so much better with the ball, and that's been good to see, because that was a key thing when he first broke through about what made him different from everyone else that we had, is that he could split the lines, he could play a long diagonal ball, but he just seemed to be lacking that over the past 18 months. So whether that's due to confidence or whatever, the higher division we played in, he's brought that back. So, Daniel Farker acknowledging that today, and long may it continue with Pascal. I hope that partnership with him and Joe Roden continues to blossom, because it's been brilliant so far. Farker did speak about Stoke in terms of not doing the whole cold on a Tuesday or Wednesday night thing, but he also did say about Stoke, by the way, that they're in a false position, that he expects them to finish higher. I remember him saying that about QPR too. So, in Daniel Farker's mind, I don't know who's going to finish in the bottom three, but everyone is in a false position right now. But listen, Stoke are where they are. It still will be a tough game. That's basically what he was saying. He's saying he'll respect every opponent, and that we have to approach it professionally. Otherwise, we won't get a result. And he's correct in that. Yeah, he was talking about the league positions. We'll scoot past that. This is the one here with Archie Gray. He did basically, Archie Gray is playing tomorrow. So if you was hoping that Archie Gray was getting a rest tomorrow, you might want to hope again, because I think that Archie is going to play, and I'm actually inclined to agree with the manager. So if Archie comes out as average as he did against Norwich, and that's due to a mixture of the opponents he faced and the short turnaround time from playing 3 full international games before that Norwich game, then I'll hold that. I just feel that in a game against Stoke, I feel like we're going to have a bit more control, and I feel like they don't have the attacking talent that Norwich do. So I think it's going to be a much better game for Archie, where he can play that role of the John Stones role, I like to call it, where he's playing right back, but then pushes up into midfield when necessary. And he was talking about the turnaround time as being better for Archie Gray from the Norwich game to the game tomorrow against Stoke City, in that they've had lighter training days as well. They've had a bit more rest and recovery, so he's good to go. And I'm good with that. I'm absolutely perfect with that. So if Archie Gray starts tomorrow, do not be surprised. And it would be good to see him in the game like this, because again, this is a part of what I feel for Archie Gray is a big part of development, and that is a tough away game at Stoke. I feel that will only benefit him if he plays in this game. That's just my personal opinion. Of course, feel free to disagree in the comments if you don't agree with me. And yeah, that was it. That's what I'm saying. There wasn't too much. And if we look at Stoke in terms of their results recently, you can see there's a key thing here. They do ship a couple of goals. And our strongest point, by far, it's certainly not defensively, it's attack. And I do feel that there are goals to be had in this game. You look at the result. You know, they had a real good one recently against Sunderland. That is a good home result. So they'll be going off a little bit of momentum, but we've also had a very big momentum winning game as well, coming from 2 down and beating Norwich City. So, you know, they're going into it in high spirits. I feel like our spirits should be higher, especially where we are on the table and what we're trying to do to maintain that. But yeah, as you can see, they do concede a few goals, and I think we should be looking to exploit that. Here is the table currently. Here we are, third place, people. You know, moving, you know, slow and steady wins the race, and we're moving nicely. As Danny Farker said, though, he's not really looking at that. He'd prefer to be there than 23rd, of course, but it's still early. But we look where Stoke are. Just scroll down for you, and they're in 20th position. So for me, although it's an away game and a tough one at that, I still think with our firepower and our quality in our team that we should be going to Stoke City and getting the victory. That's what I believe. I thought a draw against Norwich would be good. I feel like a victory against Stoke is not a must, but I feel like if we're going to crack that top two and knock Ipswich out of those places, we need to be winning games like these. So for me, I'm going to go for a tough 3-1 win. I say tough because I feel like we'll take the lead. Stoke will be fighting back, and I feel like just with our pace and the options that we've got up front, we'll hit them on the counter and we'll put them to bed. So I'm going to go 3-1. Feel free to put your score predictions in the comments below, of course. Danny Farker did also speak about. He was asked about Liam Cooper and Luke Ayling's roles in the team. Just about, you know, they're coming on for the last couple of minutes, and he did say, you know, they're older now, they're not going to play every minute of a 46 game. So, you know, they are kind of taking on the roles that I was hoping that they would take on a couple of years ago now, in that Mark Noble role of being an older guy in the team, but is a leader off the pitch. So that's currently their roles now, which he pretty much said. He also mentioned about having Patrick Bamford back. I thought the funniest thing about the Patrick Bamford thing was that he said he had an injury CV. I did chuckle at that. He's got an injury CV. You can just imagine him reading down, oh, he had this on this day. Oh, this on this, yeah, a couple months here, yeah. I found that quite funny, but obviously he's just translating it from German to English. But yeah, he just means he's got a long history of injuries. But he's basically saying these guys are there for seniority. When we need them, they'll step in, but you know, their roles are reduced, and you know, they're not 25 anymore, they're older now, and they're there to help out the younger players in the team. So, you know, Danny Farker gave an answer to that. So leaving that Stoke game behind, I want to speak about Crysencio Summerville. Obviously, he's had a lot of prep. Even our own Leeds United team, you know, every angle of every goal he scored against Norwich is being put out there. He's been all over the socials. And of course, for this got a couple people talking. I had a few people message me on Insta as well, talking about this, what's going on with Somerville. And Fabrizio just, you know, put it out there. Somerville with a brace versus Norwich. He rejected several clubs in the summer to stay at Leeds, where and feels he's a key player here. Bournemouth, Everton, and Burnley all interested, and more Premier League clubs are now monitoring Crysencio towards the January window. And obviously, it's always that way, isn't it? We have a brilliant result, and it's like, we just can never enjoy something without something coming back to us. It's the Leeds thing, isn't it? But all I'll say with this, because obviously this doesn't come out of nowhere when it comes to Fabrizio. I've spoken about this many times before. An intermediary that I was speaking to has dealt with Fabrizio and people and agents that deal with Fabrizio all the time. And it won't be Crysencio that's putting this out. It'll probably be his agents or whatever it may be, or past correspondence he's had with the agents, and maybe just put it back out there again. But all it is for me, and I'll just say this, I don't think it means Crysencio's leaving in January. I would just say it's just a reminder to clubs that are playing at a higher level that Somerville is on fire, is in great form. He's a talent that shouldn't be at this level. And I always say this as well. We always say about talents like Somerville, Nonto, and people like that they shouldn't be in this division. So you shouldn't really be shocked when they're linked with moves away or being monitored by bigger clubs, because you know you're contradicting yourself there. But I'll maintain this. If we are in the top two by January, I don't think Somerville goes anywhere. Leeds will have the strong hand to say, We're in the top two. We don't see any sense in getting 25, 30 million for you now when we can get 170 million plus when we get promoted. It makes zero sense. The only position of weakness Leeds will have is if we slip down the table and say, please no, please no. But 13th place by January, we're not in any position of strength there. Now you can keep the player if you want to. I don't see the point in that when you're down in 13th or something like that. But if you're in the top two, make it much like Sheffield United when they hung on to Ndai and Sanderberg. Both players left once they got promoted, which is strange to me. Obviously, Njai wanted to go Marseille and whatever happened with Sanderberg, but they kept them because they realized even in the financial difficulties they are in and we're not, it was better to get promoted with them in the team than to lose them and possibly not get promoted at all. And I feel like Leeds will be in that position. And I look at the teams there, Bournemouth, Everton, Burnley. It's more attractive at the start of the season because you're starting with a clean slate. You probably think that you can help propel these teams up the table, but these teams are doing poorly. Now, do you take the risk? The Premier League is a big lure. We can't, ignore that. It's a big lure to go into the Premier League. But do you risk missing out promotion with Leeds United and what the 49er enterprises will do with this football club once we're back? Or do you take the risk and possibly being relegated and being in this position again? It's a much different picture from the summer to the January windows. And if we're in a strong position come then, I don't think there's anything to worry about. Obviously, football, you just never know. But my gut feeling is that Crysencio stays as long as we continue to shoot up the table. And I don't see any signs of us slowing down. And that is where I stand with Crysencio Summerville and these reports. And I've said it all the time, people. We always get this with our better players. We always will because we're Leeds United. And I purposely say that because I looked around for Jack Clark stuff. Jack Clark's doing all right this season for Sunderland. I don't see any links for him away. You know what I mean? It's just different when you do well for Leeds United. It always is. It's always different when you do well at Leeds United. We've seen that over the past however many years you've supported the team. So yeah, there it is with Crysencio. Those are my thoughts. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And just to finish off on this one, this finally got sorted out. The fan that confronted Eddie Howe, we've been fined 40,000 with 20,000 suspended until the end of the 24-25 season and warned of future conduct. And I saw, as usual with football fans, I saw in the comments all the whataboutery, when are Everton going to get fined for their FFP things and chanting and this and that. I always say this though, people, look after your own house. And you got to think this guy who was, reading this, charged with assault and handed a 12-week prison sentence for confronting Eddie Howe is technically, I mean, was it worth it, man? Like, you've been banned from football. He's been banned from football for 6 years and banned from Leeds United for life. And you've just got to assume or guess that this guy would have loved going to Leeds United games. It was probably a big part of his life. And now he can't have that no more. Or just to go up to Eddie Howe and say whatever he said. And I always say this, never mind other teams, look after your own house. Okay. And these are things that happen at Leeds United a little bit. Because even at the Spurs game, I spoke about it before at the Spurs game, the guy that had to get dragged off by about 3 guards and then 2 police people had to come and get him off the pitch. I'm surprised there's been nothing further about that, and hopefully nothing does come to that. But just look after yourselves. Worry about what's going on in-house. Never mind what's going on at other clubs, and just behave. Because look, that's an expensive fine to pay. I know football clubs are always they've got it, they can pay it, but that 20,000 has come out of whatever budget and has had to pay a fine, and it sucks. It sucks. So yeah, man, just enjoy the games, man. But keep all that behavior. I don't know, man. It's just weird to me because you just have to go through the thought process that a lot of people go to football to escape. And now this guy, whoever he is, I'm not going to say his name on air, but he's now lost that escape. He's going to have to find something else to do. And you just think, was it worth it? But yeah, that is the video, people. And one other thing. Leeds United admitted they failed to ensure their spectators or supporters or anyone purporting to be supporters or followers conduct themselves in an orderly fashion. I always say this about stewards. You can cuss stewards all you want. They don't get paid enough to get involved in all these kind of things with rowdy football fans. The money's not that good, so I do not blame them for allowing people to get on the pitch. You say, listen, that's not on me. You know, work on yourselves, people. You know, I don't get paid enough for this, so I completely get it from a steward's point of view. But listen, people, that is the video. Please hit a like on the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, drop your comments below to anything discussed, and drop your thought predictions as well, score predictions, and I'll see you for the match reaction tomorrow night. Peace out, people. Have a good one.